What's up, dog fans? It's TBFN, and you're now watching an episode of 3 Dubs. What they're saying, what I saw, and what I think. On this segment, I talk about the word on the street, give you my opinion of the media reports from the major networks, journalists, and all the other YouTubers who cover the team just like I do. And we got more rumors out there about us being a possible landing spot for a few other quarterbacks. And we'll analyze all the chatter. You know, and it just seems like Dolphins seeking another quarterback has become a trend ever since we drafted Tua Tagovailoa. And I already released a video recently giving my thoughts on the rumors that's out there about Tom Brady possibly, wearing the aqua blue and being a quarterback of this franchise. That speculation is coming from the moves that he made over the last few days and weeks and the noise that the media heads have been putting out there about, him possibly joining this team. If you want to know my vantage point on that, check out that video on YouTube, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about that. This episode here is going to be about my thoughts on the Aaron Rodgers rumors, because Rodgers, as you know, he's kind of trying to bond out of Wisconsin. He's trying to get out of Wisconsin as soon as possible, and, he showed a lot of respect and praise for us in the interviews of the game prior to playing us, and even after they beat us. He had a lot of he was real glowing about where he see us at, how good of a team we are, and it brought a lot of speculation and rumors that we could be in play to try to get Aaron Rodgers on this team. Now, obviously, we already heard from Chris Greer and Mike, we're rolling with Tua, but there's fans on social media who think that we should be players in trying to get Aaron on this team, and we should do our due diligence. Right now, he's currently under contract with the Packers, but like I said, he's trying to get out of there, and he's got a list of teams he likes. We're one of those teams. Now, Green Bay, they kind of want to move on from Aaron Rodgers also. So there is mutual interest in the two parting ways. And so, they're listening to proposals right now from everywhere, but there's a few problems. The Packers, they're going to take a $96 million cap hit if they was to trade him. So they need a trade partner that's going to be able to eat up some of that cap. And we ain't got the money for that. We currently don't have no draft capital or players to try to package in the deal for Rodgers, and we don't have the cap space to fit him in. So that's why that's automatically a no. I'm sorry to get, I know y'all really want, it's fans that really want us to move on from Tua and get another quarterback. I'm sorry, but we just don't have the bread to try to get him here. I mean, we'd have to move mountains. We have to get rid of key players. We might have to get rid of Tyreek Hill to try to fit his contract, and we ain't doing that. He is a future Hall of Fame quarterback. He has a Super Bowl win, 4 MVP awards, and he talking about trying to win another MVP. And when you watch the game that he played against us, Tua played the whole game. They say that's the one where he got hurt, hit his head on the back of the grass and, on the turf. And so that's why he's been in concussion protocol since then. But he played. Aaron Rodgers just played better. And, even that game that he played against Tannehill with Philbin, Aaron Rodgers showed you in that game, in both games, that he can still be mobile enough to be able to move in the pocket, find his weapons down the field, and he still got that quick trigger just like Marino did. But here's the thing, like I said, that's a dream. That's a pipe dream. Get that out of your minds right now. Let's not think about that. It's almost like if you got a dime piece at home and it's another dime piece out there that you want to, get that out your mind, dog. Like, get it out your head. Forget about it. I mean, right now he could walk away from football as a legend, like I said, and with his MVPs and his Super Bowl, and never look back, and his legacy is solidified. But if he did leave, he would leave $110 million guaranteed on the table. So Rodgers ain't going nowhere no time soon. So whoever does sign him, look for him to be with the team for maybe another 3 years at least, and then Tom Brady played, he trying to play till he about 50 and he's still balling. And there's rumors of him going to another team or possibly coming to us. So Rodgers, even though he's in his 30s, late 30s, he can still push it close to how Brady pushed it to, so we'll see. But like I said, him leaving that on the table, that's a major factor in all of this. So it's just going to be too much money. Now, surprisingly but not surprisingly, the Jets are also interested. We got to talk about that. Now, the question is, does he want to join the Jets? He got to decide that he want to play, because he's also kind of gave hints of possibly retiring, and he's been on the Pat McAfee show. He might want to get into broadcasting or starting a podcast. Who knows? But like I said, I don't think he want to walk away from that money. And if he chooses the Jets, they got to work out an acceptable deal. He got to negotiate an acceptable contract. And then, they it'll be scary. I'm not going to lie. The Packers, they're going to escape from nearly $60 million in cap obligations. And so, that'll be good for them. And I would say the Packers right now, they're listening to offers that involve picks, and I believe, because they're not really free agent players. They're never really major free agent players. They're usually building through the draft, so they want a lot of picks. So the Jets will probably have to give up 2 first-round picks, maybe this one and maybe the one in 2025, or 2024. And then with his contract, he's already owed $58.3 million fully guaranteed. There's gonna have to be some adjustments with his contract. And if the two sides make a transaction, then Green Bay go full tilt with Jordan Love. And we're going to need to be aware, as well as the other teams in our division, the Pats and the Bills, and it'll definitely make the division interesting, and they'll probably be favored to be, the winners in the division. And with ESPN and that being in New York, kind of in the New York region, and they love the Jets. They hate the fact that they've been getting their ass whooped. That's why they hate on us. That's part of the reason why they hate on us. They're going to be talking a lot about the Jets if Aaron goes there. They're already talking about him going there. And, Rodgers' career will pretty much be damn near a split image of Brett Favre's career. Now, speaking of Brett Favre, let's look at the last time this happened, where this same scenario where a quarterback from the Packers joined the Jets and became a threat in our division. That was 2008. Same year that we dominated the division with the Wildcat. And what was crazy was that Chad Pennington was the Jets quarterback the previous year. And, he had a lot of injuries and just couldn't lift them to the top. So as they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And Chad was exactly what we needed. Sperano was masterful and he was innovative with the offense. And that was what allowed us to go 11-5. Plus Tom Brady got hurt and the Pats had to be led by Matt Castle. So that had a lot to do with it also. And the Jets, they pretty much felt like Favre was what they needed. And for them, when he arrived, it was like a Jewish holiday that day. Like everybody stopped working. The city stopped working. Gang Green was pretty much boasting about them going to the Super Bowl, and they gave him a nickname. As soon as he got announced, they started calling him Jet Favre and Broadway Brett. And that's just what Jets fans do. If they think you a stud, they'll put Broadway in the beginning of your name and shit like that. But how did Brett get there? He was torn between retirement and continuing his playing career with the Packers. And he kept reneging on his decision. He didn't know what he wanted to do. One minute he'll say, yeah, this is it. Especially after a loss, he'll say, yeah, this is it. But then he'll think about it, and then he'll want to come back and play again. So he kept teetering, playing teeter-totter with them. And Rodgers, they ended up drafting Aaron Rodgers. And they probably looking in practice and seeing both of them playing like, shit, Aaron is a stud. Like, we can move on from Brett right now. But Brett, he had King's disease. He felt like he was the man, and he wanted Aaron to sit on the bench for, so Aaron had to sit for a few years and watch him from the sidelines. But once Aaron started really showing true greatness, and especially in the preseason, and, I would say that Cowboys game, the way he balled in that Cowboys game, That was after they let go of Brett, but I'm just saying, they probably saw that in practice, and that 2007 loss to the Giants is probably also the straw that broke the camel's back, because Brett threw hella interceptions, and it brought about two realities pretty much. Reality number one, Brett is too big for the organization and has too much leverage with the fan base. If Aaron Rodgers came here, that's what would happen here. He would have too much leverage with the fan base. You know, Mike is a young play caller that is gonna. He's the same thing with Brady. He's gonna have to give up some of his ideas of how he's currently running the offense, and he would have to change that to tailor it to Aaron, and it'll set us back, in my opinion. And you know, Brett was pretty much selfish and costly, and he was pretty much a progress stopper for the young gunner, and he was a walking pick six as well. So they're in their mind, they're thinking we need to move on from Brett ASAP. Reality number two, Brett in his mind was thinking, I won one Super Bowl only. And he knows that Desmond Howard had a lot to do with that. So it filled the void for him, but it didn't completely fill the void, because it's not like he dominated in that Super Bowl win. So he wanted to go again, you know, and MVPs are good, but he lost that championship game to the Giants, and he think in his mind he can't go out like that. So hell no, I ain't finna retire. You know, I want to play for the Jets, and so that's what happened. The front office was like, nope. And, you know, they traded him. They got a conditional pick, depending on how many snaps Brett Favre took in that season. And if the Jets went to the Super Bowl, that would also determine whether the Packers get a first, second, or third or fourth round pick. And that's how that deal was done. How did he play against us? Well, he beat us in week 1, September 7th at Dolphin Stadium. And this was a game that we should have won. We held Brett in check as far as limiting his yardage, but he did score 2 touchdowns. I thought Chad Pennington actually played, you know, kind of outplayed Brett in this game, but the Jets overall just had a better strategy than us. Favre threw for just 194 yards. He completed 15 to 22 passes, no interceptions, and Chad threw for 251 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he did throw an interception. They crushed us on the ground. You know, we wasn't giving Ricky Williams the ball, and he only carried the rock 10 times for 24 yards. You got to credit their defense, you know, for containing Ricky. Meanwhile, Thomas Jones, for them, produced 101 yards off 22 carries and a touchdown. Anthony Fasano was our leading wide receiver, and he's a tight end. And Jericho Cotchery is their leading wide receiver. You know, and they stuck with the rushing attack, you know, and I think if they would have stayed with that approach, if they would have stayed with the rushing attack, they would have been a problem for the league, and they would have been a problem for us. But Brett's bad habits eventually reared his ugly head, and he went back to committing turnovers, throwing interceptions and shit. And that's how, you know, we got our revenge against them. We beat them week 17, 24-17, last game of the season. And Brett threw 3 picks for us, you know, in that game. And we canceled coaching against them boys. So, you know, am I scared or fearful that Aaron is going to follow in Brett's footsteps with joining the Jets and be a problem for us? Yeah, I am. Because Aaron don't throw interceptions, you know, and he can still ball. You know, they got a juggernaut on defense, Breece Hall and Michael Carter with Garrett Wilson on offense. And they're literally just a quarterback away from closing the gap with us. So I hope he doesn't sign with the Jets. And, you know, we would need to make sure that our next DC has schemes that could stop Aaron Rodgers. You know, how did Vic Fangio's defense fare against Rodgers when he coached with the Chicago Bears? That's what I want to know. And also, are we sure we should move on from Byron Jones if he gets named the quarterback? You know, I mean, we're going to need legit corners to stop Aaron, you know, and hopefully Brandon Jones and Nick Needham can be ballers again when they get back. So I hope it don't happen. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section about Aaron Rodgers possibly becoming the quarterback of the Dolphins, you know, as an option. that's not what I want to do. I want us to stick with Tua, but there's fans out there that think we should do our due diligence and take a look and see. They think Chris Greer should make a call. Do you think we should do that? And then if Aaron joins the Jets, how worried are you in this division about the Jets being a problem for us, and being a barricade in our way? But that's all I got. Till next time, signing off.